What's going on, everybody? Fall in, at attention. You are locked in to another episode of the Husker Army podcast. I'm already getting tongue-tied this morning. My gosh, it's first game of the season. Of course, I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm ready to go. I am your host, Bryan Knutzen. With me, as always, former Husker wide receiver, Mr. Kenny Cheatham, a.k.a. KC. Our recruiting guru, Matt Sass, a.k.a. Herbie Husker 15. And our guest today, everybody, I've been telling everybody on Twitter for, I don't know, as long as I can remember now. This guy is what I call the embodiment of the Husker Nation fan base. He is the heart and soul of it. I want to welcome our guest today, King Chris, a.k.a. Mr. Happy, Chris Pearson. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing great, man. How are you doing?
We're doing good. We're celebrating a Husker victory, 1-0 to start the season off. I mean, Chris, you were there. What was it like? What was the atmosphere?
It was great, man. I really enjoyed it. It was the fans were into it all for like 4 quarters. I like to see that.
Yes, absolutely. To see the fans getting back into it, I mean, they were loud start to finish. That both sides of the ball showed all of us what we were hoping to see. So, before we roll into the game, everybody, of course, I got to let you know, brought to you by Hurrdat Sports Network, and of course, the folks over at the Husker Army, the Real Husker Army 2024 Facebook fan page. Go check those guys out. Become a member. I'm pretty sure I've even sent invites here as of late. So, if you've got one from me, accept it. You're not going to be disappointed being a part of that. Couple more things to plug real quick. Of course, Ken over at Gen Red, we got you covered, man. Saturday, October 12th, it is the bye week. They are hosting the inaugural charity golf scramble for the thunderstorms and the tornadoes that rolled through Nebraska and Iowa back on April 26th. It's going to be a four-person team scramble. So it's $500 per four-person team. It's $125 per person. Got to pay it all up front. Not one person here, one person there. But it's for charity, man. It's a little bit more, so give a little bit more. All the proceeds going to the Salvation Army. You know, we're going to help provide to the families that lost almost everything they had in those storms. So we're going to have it at Woodland Hills Golf Course. That's at Woodland Hills Golf Course in Eagle, Nebraska. You can register online at genredpod.com. Now, you can register to also be a sponsor for a hole as well. It's $250 to sponsor a hole. You'll have your logo up at the pin and all that. There'll be flag prizes, on-course games, silent auctions. Ken's got a jersey from Grant Wistrom that Grant sent him that is signed, that is going to be in that silent auction as well. So it's going to be a great day, great reason to get out. Like I said, it's the bye week, no reason to not be out because there's no Husker game to watch that day. So it's going to be a great event. It's going to be fun. We're already sponsoring a hole, so you'll see the Husker Army logo. It'll be up there for one of the tees. Not sure which one it is yet. Now, one last plug, and I always keep forgetting to do this for some damn reason. But guys, we got merch. All right, we got merch. You go to hurrdatsports.com, check out the merch page, find us on there. You'll see what we got. Those are not the only colors in apparel that we have. Plenty of other colors, and especially like the hat Kenny's wearing. You see there, it's the black with the red, but you can also get it in almost any other alternate color. So as you can see there, we got the mugs, tumblers, hats, beanies, shirts. Get your color. Get your merch. Support the Husker Army podcast. We love what we do. We hope you love what we do. Show your support for us for loving what we all do. So, like I said, hurrdatsports.com. Go check out the merch page. It's a great thing. It's great material. You and I, Matt, we both have a shirt. The material's nice and loose. Nice and loose. It stretches. It breathes. It's not heavy. It's really, really nice. And then, Kenny, as you told me to remember right before we started, everybody, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. All right? It helps us out. Helps us out a lot. And we've grown significantly over this last month. We were well under 200 subscribers before this month started, I believe. We're sitting at 233. So we've had a hell of a run in the last month. And hopefully with the way yesterday went, it's going to be an even bigger run as this season progresses. So let's go ahead and talk about it, everybody. I mean, there it is. 40-7. Opening day. It looked great. It just looked great to me. Matt, I mean, we've been waiting. We've been hearing. We've been talking. What did we finally see?
Excuse me.
Yeah, it's about as exactly how I expected. Defense came out lights out. I mean, other than that one mistake touchdown, but Dylan Raiola, that's just, my God. And then from the spring game, we never even got a chance to see Banks or Nair.
Yep.
And it's just men amongst boys out there yesterday. It was phenomenal. So incredibly happy.
I am too. I got to admit, I was a little shaky at first in the beginning of the first quarter, but it seemed like once they got those jitters out, I mean, cut out the penalties, cut out the turnovers. You just play good football and we see what happens. We got to see all of the glory that it can be so far. And this is just the start. Just the start. Chris, you were there in person, man. How did Raiola look in person?
He looked really good. I thought he played like if I'm not mistaken, I'm also a Chiefs fan, so he kind of reminded me of what I see from Mahomes all the time from the Chiefs games sometimes. So he looked really good. I thought he looked pretty good. I mean, some throws I think he wanted to have back, but I thought he looked pretty good for the most part. So I was pleased with his effort.
Absolutely, I agree there. There were a few times, 2 or 3 times maybe. He was trying to get a little greedy on a couple throws.
Well, that first deep shot he went after, I mean, he missed that. I'm talking by inches.
Just barely missing that.
Yeah. I mean, if Nair catches that ball diving into the end zone for DR's first touchdown,
good Lord.
Man.
Good Lord. That place would have come unglued. Yeah, we may not have Chris on today because he'd have blown the top of his head off. But Kenny, you had to go back and watch it because you were working yesterday. So I mean, we've got some highlights for you. This is Raiola right here. It's just effortless. It really is for him. The way he stands in the pocket, the way he surveys the field. I have a clip by Rule that I'll play in a little bit during his presser after, saying how one of the plays Raiola went through his second, third progressions before he made a decision. Not only to have a quarterback be able to do that, but that the offensive line gave the quarterback the time to do that. I mean, you hear things like that, Kenny. I mean, that's got to make you feel pretty good.
Yeah, just going back watching the game, the thing I was most impressed with, one of the things, I'm not going to say everything, was the time he had in the pocket. Was the time he had in the pocket to be able to set up those throws, to be able to get those throws off. There really wasn't that much pressure on him, and the guys were open. So when I'm seeing it totally different than a lot of people. I'm watching to see if he has the time, if the guys are getting open, and lastly, if they're making the catches. And all those things clicked yesterday, which is what you want to see in the first game, in which we haven't had in a while. We can say a team you expected to win against. So I was impressed with how they played overall, especially the running game. That's something that really I said, okay, that's going to open up a lot of more things. Going to open up a lot more things in which they'll be able to do offensively if they can continue to do that throughout the season.
Yeah, you look at, how this game went. Like you said, Kenny, it has been a long time since we've been able to comfortably put in backups to go in and just finish out the game and not have to worry about something getting close or some catastrophic turnover happening to where starters got to come back in. This has been too long. And it was
unofficially, I think we ended up playing 108 kids.
Yeah, that's what you're used to seeing. Isn't that our first opening season win in a while?
It's 2019.
Yeah, 5 years ago.
5 years.
Yep.
Wow. That's crazy.
It is.
Crazy.
And, me and Kenny were talking toward the end of the game there. We were texting back and forth, and I had to tell him, I was like, dude, we've got our 5th string running back in right now. 2 minutes later, we got our sixth six string in there. I'm like, dude, Kenny, the announcers are having problems here because they've got to really look through that depth chart to find who the hell was on the field.
Like we only had one sack the whole game.
Yeah.
And I had never heard of the kid. Mason Goldman. That's just insane. So it was like, wow, okay. Even that new that kid from Germany, he even played.
Is it pronounced Hofkin or Hofkin?
I don't know, man.
It's got the two. It's got the two
I say
dots.
Hofkin because that's how I read it. But then you start putting dots and stuff over letters.
Yeah, it's got the two. I don't know. Kenny,
know.
you went to college. How does that work with speech when you got two dots over a letter? Is it pronounced the actual O or A? Do you have any clue?
Eu falo português. Don't know German.
Yeah, I have no idea. But I mean, he's 22 years old. He's a freshman, and he's freaking huge and just
he is.
Like when I say chiseled, I mean like oh my god, a 22-year-old true freshman.
Yeah, defense impressed me as well. I mean, my God, did they get a bunch of sacks? No. Did they get a bunch of turnovers? No. But what did they do? They won the turnover battle. They kept them in check, minus one bad play. One bad play. Blown coverage. Happens.
Yep.
Happens to everybody. Matt, you and I talked about that. Happens to Bama in their title years. Happens to Michigan in their title years. Happens to everybody. So the fact that we didn't hit that panic button.
He made up for
yes,
it,
he did.
In a big
yes,
way.
he did. You get burned on one. I think Butler's like, you better be bringing me that ball back later in the game then.
Well, right after Dante fumbled inside the 5, and they were posting up like on the sideline, and I just knew right there. It was like, oh, don't do that. We're gonna make you pay. Gonna get the safety.
Glad you brought that up there,
get the ball right back to our offense. Deep pass for a touchdown, and it was like, "Yep, I told you, don't do that. Not in our house."
And see, I'm glad you brought the fumble up that ended up being a safety for the defense. I got a nice little clip for you from Rule and his presser for that. Here you guys go.
And so for us to put that ball on the ground on the 4-yard line, and I went out to the defensive huddle and I tried to say something. Marquise was like, "Man, we know what we're doing. We've been here before." Like they were excited to play, and you saw them. I mean, I don't even know how that all happened. I didn't see exactly what happened, but I just saw guys playing really hard and fast on defense, and so that was great because it was such complimentary football. Because I think they kicked it to us. Jacory had a decent return, and then we went down and scored. Right, so that was a 9-point swing, and that's kind of we want to go on runs. We want to score, stop somebody, get the ball back with good field position, and score, or kind of like that, and that happened there.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, a turnover like that, and the defense was frothing at the mouth. They were like, oh, good. You got the ball inside the 5. Oh, God, you're so done. You're so done.
The leadership by Buford.
Yes.
Like, no, coach, don't worry. We got this. You're good.
Tell your head coach, hey, don't worry about this, coach. We got it.
Yeah, it's senior leadership. This is what exactly you want by your seniors. We're good, coach. You don't need to hype us up. We're already hyped. We'll take care of business.
Now, Chris, with you being at the game, we could see it on TV how that defense was flowing. More than 1 or 2 red jerseys near the ball at every tackle. Is that really what you guys were seeing in person as well?
Absolutely. I saw a lot of good things from that defense. Man, they were flying around like they were last year. I mean, this defense with this leadership has been really good this year, and that's what we're going to have for next week. Because we're going to have to show leadership next week as well. Because that was some good leadership by what Will said about leadership is key every time. And I mean, I was kind of worried about that after the fumble. Like, oh no, here we go again, fumble.
You're not the only one, Chris. You're not the only one. Trust me.
Yeah.
It was tough. It was tough to watch that fumble.
Yeah. I mean, Dante did a really good job running the football most of the time. Yeah. I was like, oh, and then when that fumble, he didn't play for the rest of the game, I think. So unfortunately, so
he did, but I think he didn't play again until the third quarter.
Yeah,
Right,
did he even
right.
carry the ball again, though?
I
But
don't.
that's what we need. It's like the movie Remember the Titans. If you
Yeah.
fumble the football, I'm gonna break my foot off in John Hine
John Brown,
parts, and
John
then you will
Brown
run a
hind
mile.
parts.
And Rule will make him run. He's gonna
Yes.
run. So
Yeah.
and that's what we need. That's what I love. And that was really the only biggest mistake we made the whole game. Like penalties wise, we had 2 in the first quarter. Didn't have another penalty until the 4th.
Damn.
Perfect.
That's what I mean.
Good
They
job.
settled down. They settled down. And early on, even Raiola said, you know, he had the adrenaline pumping. So some of those throws might have been just a tad off target. He settled down and had nothing to worry about after that. I mean, we can, like we said, the game was well in hand, not even midway through the third quarter. It was after they put on a methodical, over 5-minute drive in that third quarter and punched it in. That's what did it. That, in my opinion, that broke UTEP right there. You put together a consistent over 5-minute drive, and you're not struggling the entire drive. You're just right down the field, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards. Just keep putting it down there, and it was just wearing on him. And you could see it.
Power football.
It really was. You got to see so many guys play yesterday that putting together the stats was kind of pain in the ass. I had to get more graphics than I'm used to. So, I mean, you get to see it right there. You got to see 3 of the quarterbacks yesterday, which we knew we were going to see Harburg a little bit. They said they had packages that were specifically for him. So, but what we kind of got to see with that is maybe it's kind of a Tim Tebow type package where it's going to be maybe short yardage down in the goal line, take the quarterback just right up the gut, things like that, run an option. His passing was vastly improved. He looked so much better. You see it right there. Dillon goes 19 for 27 for 238 yards, averaging almost 9 yards a pass and 2 touchdowns. Then you got Harburg going 5 for 5 for 35 yards, and then Graham Stagg going 1 for 3 for 11. Yeah, Harburg going 5 for 5. Dude, you never would have seen anything like that last year. And I think Harburg would be the first to tell you that.
He's improved big time. I mean, you can even see it with his throws. They're on point. The checkdowns, he throws the ball really hard, though.
Yes, he does. They even said
when
he
guns
threw a
it,
laser.
I mean, it's moving quick.
Now, Kenny, we've been talking about this almost all off season, well, at least since the spring game, how much that the quarterback play had improved. Now, seeing what you got to see, what is there to say now?
Not much, really. I mean, I do like how well Harburg played coming in. You saw a significant change in a lot of his game, just with the amount of reps that he got in yesterday's game. So
even body language.
Yeah, he looked more confident.
Yeah.
That was the main thing I was looking for. He wasn't hesitant on his throws. He threw the ball a lot better. He went 5 for 5. But just the way he was playing and his command of offense. I think last year with how it went, he was, because of how bad Sims played, he was tossed in there. And it was like a pressure cooker. Coach Rule's first year, expectations, what do you want? And sometimes as a number 2 guy, you prepare, but you're not as prepared. That was one of the things we were fortunate to have under Coach Osborne and under Coach Solis, that regime, that the number 2 guy was just as prepared because of how many players we had, how we set up our stations. They got the same amount of reps as the first team quarterback. So to see that transition, or to see him grow as a player, look good. Now I do wish he would have cut inside on that run when he tried to truck the dude. But he looked good. I was impressed with it, man.
I ain't gonna lie, Kenny, when he took on that defender like that, I was at work watching the game, man. I jumped up screaming because I was like, that's why we love you, Harburg. Come on, man.
And he tried to talk a little trash. You see his body language when he got up? Try to talk a little trash.
Is that the
By
play
a
where he was
quarterback.
laughing when he got to the sidelines?
Yeah. I mean, how often does a defensive back get looked at by a quarterback,
Yeah.
getting looked down upon? Like, what are you doing down there? So I love that. I mean, that's what I was hoping to see. Chris, yeah, what was the crowd like when Harburg got in there? Because on TV, you could hear him starting to cheer pretty loud once he came in.
The crowd was great, man. I thought they really enjoyed what they saw improvement from Harburg. I think Harburg was improved. I think he worked on his consistent throws. Most of the time in the offseason. I think that was one of
His
his main
touch.
focuses. Yeah, and he was good in spots. I thought he did pretty well. I thought Kenny said, he just really was learning a lot to how to play quarterback in the new system. But I think he's learned a lot better now than I think I've seen him. But I was kind of sad he didn't get that touchdown. But hey, I mean, did he get a touchdown? I don't.
No,
No,
you're
he
not
didn't.
the only. I was
No.
hoping he'd get in there too.
Yeah,
I thought he deserved it.
He was just so close, man. I'm just like, it was so close. But like I said, I think he's getting better. I mean, he's not asked to run as much as he did a year ago.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'll go ahead and as we're talking about the offense, because I mean it was by far the most explosive we've seen in some years. We only scored 30 points twice last year. We had 30 at halftime. So, I mean, this offense shows that it can score, shows that it's capable of making plays. I mean, we had a 2nd and 30 and end up getting a first down after a couple plays. I mean, come on. That's ridiculous. And Raiola made it look easy. So I pulled quite a few highlights. I'll run them down as we're talking. I mean, you've got Raiola's first touchdown pass to Nior, which was great job keeping his balance, great concentration. A lot of people don't know how the hell he stayed up on that.
Yeah,
But,
and the touch on that throw, man. I mean, he drops that in where only the receiver can get it. It just beautiful.
Well, and a guy right in his face with his hand up,
Yeah.
and he didn't even get full follow through on his throw.
Yeah, and
It was basically a flick of the wrist.
Yeah, oh yeah. And they credit Nair too for keeping his balance. I mean, that was a thing of beauty.
It really was. And then, of course, you got the one right at the end of the half, which is what you always want as an offense. You want to punch something in right before halftime. And this, what a thing of beauty this was. My God. Great job by Banks, blocking out the defender,
Yep,
going up and grabbing it. And
it's like playing basketball, just box out.
Placement by Dylan was beautiful.
Yep.
I mean, Chris, you were there, man. You got to see this. How was the crowd during this?
They were so loud. My goodness, what a throw! Oh my goodness, Banks! That is probably the best.
Yep.
That's probably one of the best. That's one of the best catches I've seen from a wide receiver in quite some time. I have seen some good ones, but that one is just unbelievable, man.
It really is.
Yeah, again too. Like I try to say, you can see how hard Dylan works at this because the ball placement, it's our wide receiver's ball or it's going out of bounds.
Yep.
Right.
It's just it really is a thing of beauty.
Yeah, if you think about it, going 19
we have
for
not
27.
seen this at Nebraska. I don't think ever.
Never. I'm going to say it now. We've never seen this.
No.
It is. Oh God, it's so refreshing and so nice.
Yes.
It's odd waters, guys. I've never.
It is.
I like the movie Pirates of the Caribbean. This is Stranger Tides.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says.
Trust me. When I saw that throw, I was like, my jaw just dropped. I was like, wow.
Well, and going 19 of 27, let's also remember 3 or 4 of those were obvious throwaways out of bounds.
Yeah.
So you put those in as completions.
Throws like this you expect from like a junior or senior starting quarterback,
Yes.
not a freshman playing in his first game.
Yeah. The ball placement is great.
Yeah. He's always thinking about where he's going to put the ball, where only our receivers can catch it. I mean, even that sidearm throw in that first drive.
Let's see. I believe I've got that one for you right here.
He
You
looked
go.
like Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, here you go.
Yes.
Here
He
you go.
did.
Yes.
And then Patrick Mahomes is actually even like tweeting about his touchdown throw.
Calling him little cuzzo.
It's like, oh, hell yeah. You think kids aren't seeing that? You think high school like recruits aren't seeing that? Like, whoa, what? Huh? Is that actually Patrick Mahomes' cousin? No, but it's his nickname for him. So, yeah, I'll take it. Hey, recruits, come to Lincoln. Look us through near the ball. The future NFL star.
Mahomes is literally tweeting at Raiola during the game. Calling him Lil Cuzzo.
Yeah, awesome.
That's an endorsement you can't buy. I'm sorry.
And trust me, like stuff like that, it goes a lot further than you think. Like high school wide receivers, they're going to see that and be like, whoa, what? Okay, maybe I need to be looking at them a little bit more. Now they're going back, rewatching all of his throws, and they're going, holy shit, this kid don't miss. He's everywhere. And then, I mean, the timing routes, too. I mean, those down and out passes, I mean, they are just on spot. It's, oh, hell yeah.
And the fact that receivers know they can get into a soft spot in that zone, sit down, and your quarterback's going to get it to you.
Correct.
They got nothing to worry about.
I mean, I am so ridiculously excited, but again, I'm trying to hold it back a little bit.
Yes, we got to keep a little in check. I know. We got to keep a little in check. I get it. It's fine.
So, but I mean, this coming week, now we play Colorado, and their defense did not impress me. Not even a little bit.
Their team didn't really impress anybody.
Yeah.
Except maybe their own delusional fans.
Well, yeah, that's just Colorado for you.
Dude, that is quite the people think we're delusional as a fan base. That is quite the delusional fan base. And to have the fans they have that have just recently shown up in the last year and a half, but claim to be lifelong Buffalo fans, whatever.
What, the whole 50 of them? But one thing I will say, I will credit Rule for moving to the other sideline.
Yes.
And now you put the opposing team, I mean, their back is the band, then the student section, and the fans. I mean, they can't hear. They can't communicate. It's now you're talking about a night game, Colorado coming in here.
Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like, good luck. You know how loud that place is going to be next week?
Oh.
And Colorado, again, you played in the Pac-12 last year. You didn't hear anything like this.
No.
It's Oregon, maybe. That's it.
USC. Did they play at USC or was that in Boulder? I can't remember.
I don't know, but
it was in Boulder.
I mean,
it was in Boulder. Okay.
USC. I mean, when they're good, they sell out the stadium. When second they lose one game.
Yeah,
I mean, there's like 40,000 people in their stands.
Yep.
It's the truth, and I hate to say that, but I mean, Nebraska. Dude. We hate you. All of our fans hate you. Yeah. They will show out, dude. Oh God, it's going to be so loud next week.
I can't wait. I really can't wait for that.
There might be some places where you can barely even hear the broadcasting.
I know, and dude, Rule was talking about yesterday. Yeah, you didn't get to see it, Chris, because it was during his interview. I believe at halftime, he's like, he couldn't even hear the lady interviewing him. It was still that loud to him in there at halftime. So I mean, you guys did y'all's job yesterday, Chris. So thank you. You guys made it hard for UTEP. You made it an unforgettable day for the Huskers. Before we move on from Raiola, give you a quick clip of what Rule had to say on Raiola in the day.
There was some good and there was some bad, right? So like the best one was he three-way checked. He three-way checked the long run by Emmett, right? Like he checked it and then they kind of moved and he checked it back. And so then he checked it again and got us to that run. So like when you have a freshman that's checking and reloading things, that's an unbelievable job by Sat putting those kinds of things in. Great job by Glenn teaching it. Great job by Dylan learning it. And then also all the O-line and all those guys being on the right call.
Yeah. I mean, that's maturity beyond his years right there.
Oh.
The fact that you can
Oh, yeah.
to make a triple check. I mean, Kenny, it was tough to make one check at the line of scrimmage. You know, seeing what the defense is giving you, make the check to a different play. It's very rare that you get a quarterback, especially a true freshman, that knows, okay, they just adjusted to my check. I need to check out of that now. That's some maturity, man.
Yeah, it goes back to what I said last podcast, guys. When you've been trained to do that in the quarterback, these kids are coming in a lot more prepared, and you can see it, and it's obvious when certain freshmen come in and the way that they're prepared to play the game. You saw it with Peyton Manning as a freshman.
Oh, yeah.
Not putting him on Peyton Manning's level, but you just when you're trained like that and you get that guidance and who he's been working with. I mean, Peyton Manning had his dad and whoever else might have won his dad.
Yeah.
They can get that stuff, and it's so routine that it's not surprising. They're mentally prepared as players coming in. And this goes back, like I said, with these kids are coming in a lot more better than we were physically, mentally, the coaching, the training, the passing camps, all of these things. When we played, we just played football. Football season was over. That was it. You weren't sitting in there, oh, you go to it, and this is how you check down, and yada, 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 and all these camps, and you look for this, and then get that shoulder this way, and put the hands. It was football. You train specifically, and then, boom, season's over. Let's go do what we do, other sports, and then we come back. So it's good to see that he did that. Like I said, he looked good, man. They looked good offensively. Yeah. Now, was UTEP, we expected him to eventually wear them down. But just to see that, man, that's good to know. We haven't had a quarterback freshman, I'm going to say it, before the turnovers that you felt a little confident in since Adrian Martinez coming in before all of the unfortunate mistakes. But when Adrian came in, you were like, oh, okay. You know, that first year, you were like, okay, once he improves on that, it's like Dylan's him more advanced.
Yeah.
You know
I feel that way. That's a great comparison there, Kenny. That is perfect comparison.
And this is like plain and simple, the difference between a 5-star quarterback compared to a 4-star. I mean, it's ridiculously different. I mean, there's a reason why you're a 5-star quarterback and why every team in the country wants you. Because immediately you are a game changer.
Yeah, and speaking of that run that Dylan had checked down into, I mean, I'm pretty sure this is it right here.
It is.
Crazy.
Just beautiful. The speed, man. The
I can't believe he didn't outrun him, though. I can't believe he didn't outrun him. I was surprised. I was like, he's gone.
Well, it's a safety or a corner that caught him. I mean,
I don't care. I'm going to have to text. I'm going to have to text Emmett and be like, don't let that happen again. Come on now. I know you're faster than that.
Did you stand up out of your seat when that happened, Chris?
Oh yeah, man, I did. I was like, go to the end zone, man. Yeah,
that's what I was saying. I'm jumping up in my living room, just losing my mind. It's like, because we are huge Emmett Johnson fans on this show. So shout out to Emmett.
I like how Emmett was doing his lateral movement was impressive yesterday.
Oh yeah,
when he was running into the holes. Give me a second. I have to adjust my headphones.
He is shifty,
and he looked a little quicker. So he had a couple runs, like even on that one when he got toward the line of scrimmage height, just shifted, hit the next spot. So that they look good, man. They look stronger. They look stronger.
Yes,
running the ball. They were more physical.
Oh yeah,
running the ball. So
oh yeah.
Did you guys see how many offensive line actually played yesterday?
Oh man,
I think the final count was like 15 or 16.
Yeah, good.
That's crazy.
Which is game time reps, which is what you need.
Exactly.
Situational things. Like I said, the running backs look well. Like I said, we were all waiting to see how the line would play. To get that many guys in there to play, to not just watch the game, but to be in game mode attack going against someone else that's not your defense in a Because everyone, if you don't know in practice, you're having your defense in a certain thing to see how these offensive plays run and vice versa. But to have a team running something you're not seeing, a scheme, a twist, a turn, a blitz, and to get those reps, that's good, man. That was good to see.
And especially their tempo, that weird formation that they ran a couple times where they overloaded one side with the wide receivers.
It was like an offset diamond or something.
Yeah.
It was weird.
So
even the announcers, Brock Heward was like, "What the hell is that?"
Yeah, it's just a disguised actual play until and they're wanting to run tempo. Okay, well, we're not going to see a lot of that by teams in the Big Ten. Ohio State, maybe.
This is a telltale sign for all of you watching and listening when you know what type of team you're playing. When you play teams that have to do all that it kind of gives you a heads up of like, this might be a little bit of riffraff that we're playing out here. It's like when I'm basic. Like when I see teams do some exotic formation before you punt the ball, I'm like, what the hell is all of this? Line up and kick the ball. So when I saw all of the shifting, I was like, oh, what the hell is going on? It's just silly stuff. You just
it means you're going to lose, but you're trying to do stupid stuff, catch somebody off guard. Just practice your plays right, then you don't got to worry about it. But
tell them, Chris,
you're going up against a top 10 defense. You're playing a top 10 defense. I think we got starters in the NFL on our defense.
I think so.
Yes,
I truly do. Yeah, UTEP's head coach after the game said that Nash and Ty were probably the most dominant duo in all of college football. Have fun.
Something.
Have fun.
Now, what I wanted to say before I start talking about the running backs real quick, we'll get into the running backs, receivers, and then, of course, the defense, is the opening kickoff, Kenny. I immediately thought of you. He kicked it out of bounds. All I could think of was Kenny is probably, if he's watching, he is pissed right now.
We kicked it out of bounds on the first kickoff?
First kickoff went out of bounds.
Our first kickoff.
Yeah, our first kickoff.
Yeah, for a penalty.
See, oh, God. Was this after the touchdown? The first touchdown?
No, this was the opening kickoff of the game.
Yeah, it was after our first touchdown.
Yeah.
And we kicked off. It wasn't the opening because UTEP kicked off to us.
Our opening, penalty,
had to re-kick off to us. It's like, God damn it! Can I just? Why'd there have to be a flag? Can I just see Dylan play?
Was it a bad kick? Because I don't have that part on the TV.
He kicked it out of bounds at like the 5.
Yeah.
Our first kickoff of the season.
That's silly shit right there, man. I know I don't cuss on.
I said the same thing. So, yeah, it was.
I know.
Yeah.
I had to bring up kickers for Kenny quick. It's always the greatest trigger for him.
Yeah, that was our first penalty, and then our second one was the Fedoni.
Yeah,
blocking before the catch, and then
just a little.
Didn't see another one until the fourth quarter. So,
and it was great. It was great.
It's how cleaned up we are. It's
yes.
We're positive on the turnover margin to start the season. I love to see that. It's
a hell of a time already. And there you go. There's the stats for 4 of the 6 or 7 running backs that played.
Yeah.
I mean, good Lord, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, Harburg doesn't count. 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, Grahamstead doesn't count either. So there's 8 different running backs that carried the ball yesterday. That is crazy. Of course, you had Emmett leading the charge, 8 for 71 yards, almost averaging 9 yards a carry. Dowdell right behind him, 8 for 55 and 1 touchdown. Ramir had 11 for 50. Gabe Irvin Jr., 6 for 24 with 2 touchdowns. And
because he's the muscle.
He is.
That's why he's got those 2 touchdowns.
He'll
use the short yardage all season. Give him the rock. He's got one job, and that's get into the end zone.
Let me see if I can find the touchdown where he just smiles at the very end.
Oh yeah.
I want to say it's this one right here. Nope. That's the one where the lineman helped.
He
Helped
tackled
flatten
the
that defender.
and Irvin into the end zone.
Oh God, yeah,
It's
this is
just
great
this
angle.
right here reminds me of just like the '90s Husker
Yes.
O-line.
Look
Just
at that,
right there.
Kenny.
He's like tackling both of them to like, oh yeah, we're getting this touchdown. You ain't stopping us.
Okay, so this must be the one where he's just smiling at the end of this run because he knows. And the
He
flex,
just stops right there and just
Look at him, dude. He is.
Yeah,
he's
I'm back. I feel
laser
good.
focused. Oh God, these guys just look so focused right now.
Yep. My hip ain't bothering me. I'm good.
No, I'm saying our running back stable, as long as they all stay healthy, all these guys could start at another program instantly.
Yep.
I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says. Any of these guys
They all run hard.
They run hard. They hold on to the ball, -1 time, Dowdell, but you're going to figure that out. Trust me. Especially after you run some stadium stairs come today or tomorrow. Oh, poor kid.
Probably tomorrow.
Oh, God. He's going to make him run it on Labor Day.
Oh, yeah. They're practicing, man.
Why not get the labor in on Labor Day, man? That's what you do.
Colorado hate week. They're practicing. Real's not losing this game.
No.
So it's a work week. Get to work. Let's go.
All right, receivers real quick. Let's take a look. I only put up the 2 top receivers we had for yesterday. He spread the ball around a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different receivers touched that ball yesterday. So, our 2 biggest ones, though, of course, Isaiah Nayor, 6 for 121, averaging over 20 yards a catch with a touchdown and along a 59. Yes. Then you got Jamal Banks, of course, coming up big in that huge touchdown catch at the end of the first half. He had 4 catches for 61 yards, averaging just over 15 yards a catch. Of course, that touchdown there. You had Janarian Bonner, 3 for 26. Carter Nelson, 3 for 21. Bullock had a catch for 12. Lindenmeyer, that catch Lindenmeyer made, I wanted to bring that up. What a hell of a job holding onto that ball, because that defender brought that shoulder pad right into the elbow where the ball was, and it never popped out. Last year, 10 times out of 10, that ball's flying. They're grabbing it and picking it up for 6 probably.
Or it's an incomplete pass.
Yeah, I'm going with a pick. Knowing our luck last year, that's what would have happened. So, Kenny, you've got to somewhat feel jealous from the time you played being a receiver here to what these young men get to see and do now.
Yeah, man. Hard pill to swallow, but hey, good stuff. Good stuff. So, but yeah, to watch them play yesterday, it's just the first game, so I'm not going to get that deep into it. But to see, for me, I was impressed with the balance of the 1 catch. That's a drill you do. When you're stumbling and you put the hand down to make sure you can try to get extra yards. That right there.
Yep.
And
I thought he was down for sure.
The guys attack the ball at the high point. First man in there gets the ball generally. So for them to attack the ball at the high point, to catch it and secure the ball, and then to try to make the plays afterwards was good to see. And I saw a lot of, for me being a receiver, hand catches. Hand catching, not body catching, not waiting for the ball to get into your body to secure it. Physically going up, putting their hands up, catching the ball and plucking it out of the air. So those were the things that I was impressed with. Like I said, the touchdown in the end zone when Banks went up and got it. He jumped and he got it. That's a drill. Yeah. That's a skill. That's ball location. That's know where the ball is at. And then when he caught it turning slightly, as you can see there, that was good to see. So those things impressed me. It was a good game for me to watch and for us to watch, to see them be able to work on a lot of things in the first game going into the next game, and to see it happen and be executed to where there were minimal mistakes. You can't ask for much more than that. You cannot, as a fan, as podcasters, as former players, as anyone who has a love for Nebraska football. I bet it was we were watching it on TV. I'm sure Chris seen it in person and just been there saying, "Oh, I mean, the game ran a lot more smoother with you guys been in the stands seeing it, right? Was it a better game than you've been to before, just the way they played, Chris?"
Yeah, basically, I was like, this is probably one of my favorite games I've been to, with my mom. Because yes, I know it's a UTEP, but hey, it was a fun atmosphere to be with. I just love that when fans are into it, it makes the games more exciting for us. I mean,
Yep.
sometimes in my history, it hasn't been that way. Sometimes.
Mhm.
That is the damn truth right there, Chris. In especially recent history, there's not been a lot of
Yeah.
sighs of relief.
Yep. I'll be at the
All
night
right.
game in 2 weeks, and that's what I want to see too. So I want to
Oh.
see the what?
Who's
Sorry,
the night game? Who's the night game?
it's UNI, Northern Iowa.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So taking my wife to her first night game. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
but Colorado this week under the lights. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I'm ready.
It doesn't get no sweeter than that.
The worst
It
part of that
really
day is
doesn't.
I have to wait until 6:30 to see Buffaloes get their ass whooped.
That's the worst part of everybody's day that day. I guarantee it. All right, before I move on to the defense quick, give you a quick clip on what Rule thought of Nayor and the rest of the wide receiver core.
And I'm so happy for him. Yeah, I thought the big time catch, down the sideline for that long ball. We also had a lot of pass interferences, right, where we extended drives by taking shots down the field. And he worked the middle of the field too. Some big catches on RPOs going up. He's not afraid to go up and extend it across the middle. I thought really we got a contribution from pretty much everyone. Big third down by Bonner, big third down by Nayor, then the shot to Banks at the end. So really happy for Isaiah. He does everything right for us. When we got him, Mitch Cholowinski had known him at Texas. Said he was a great guy. He's been a great addition. And that receiving core, there was no jealousy out there today. It was just an amazing vibe from those guys.
Yeah, right there. That's the word. Vibe. That's what it seemed like they were all doing, working as a unit, a team.
Mm-hmm.
Not one out there for the other, not one out there for themselves. They're out there, for one another, not themselves.
All right.
Everybody did their job. And look what happens when everybody does their job.
The biggest thing that amazed me, though, was where's Jalen Lloyd? Where's Malachi Coleman?
I did not see Malachi.
So
I was surprised.
Jalen was in there, but I don't recall seeing
one.
Malachi at all.
Neither did I.
I get it. I mean, he plays the same spot as I think it's Banks.
Oh.
Sorry. I mean, I get it. I mean, Banks he's a senior. He's a stud. He does everything right. So, but I thought I'd see Malachi out there. No, not. I don't think he even played.
Wow.
I'm not sure either because, I was kind of confused to not see him. What number is he wearing now, Matt? Is it 11?
Oh, I believe so. I could be wrong.
Now, Chris, you were there. I'm not sure if you might have been paying attention. Did you happen to see a number 11 out on offense?
I don't think so. I think people there was probably rumors that he said it was probably deemed up. I think
Okay.
probably coming from that.
He wasn't listed as out. So
yeah, I think he probably was just recovering from the injury, probably waiting for the Colorado game. Maybe I don't know. We'll see.
Good idea. If that's the case, I'm all right with that. I mean, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
All right. So offensively, I mean, we got to see quite a bit. Matt, I didn't pull the actual team stats. Do you recall what we ended with on total offense? Weren't we over 5?
Well, I don't think we were. I think we were just short.
Well, I know we were balanced as hell. We were like 230
like
something.
493 or something like that. I could easily be wrong.
Yeah, and I know the balance
I don't go
was
by
great.
that. So
the balance was great. I know between rushing and passing, there was maybe only a 20 or 30-yard difference somewhere in there. It was extremely well balanced.
Yeah.
So, and not to mention, you get a quarterback that throws for over 200 yards in his first game, and we didn't have it all last year. What's that?
Was crazy.
That's scary to think about, Kenny. Not one quarterback threw for over 200 yards last year.
He had more yards in the first half than we did in an entire game last year.
And points.
Yep.
Crazy. All right. Defensively, I mean, my God. -1 broken play. It was lights out, and it was almost right away. I mean, here's the end of the first quarter here. The flow. We talked about it a little earlier. 2 guys there right off the bat. I mean, the way they played yesterday was inspiring. I wasn't sure if we could see a better product than what we were seeing by the end of last year. We saw a better product, in my opinion. I saw better decision-making, better coverage, better pursuit, better tackling. I couldn't say enough about these guys. And then, I mean, not to mention that safety. They just crushed the whole offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
It took him a while to call that a safety, too. I was like, come on.
It was the right call.
It was. That knee or the butt cheek went down right before that ball crossed out of that goal line. So, yeah.
Even his forearm was down before the ball got it outside the line.
Okay.
So the whole ball has to be outside the goal line. If it's on the line, it's a safety. And his forearm was down.
Well, and here's what Rule seems to think about safeties these days.
Yeah, and let me ask you this. Did they count the safety as a turnover? No. Well, they should. I might do it in our building. Yeah, that seems like a turnover, does it not? I mean, I was sitting there because we were -1, and then we did that, and I was like, okay, we're even right now.
Kenny, you got to agree, man. A safety should be a turnover. It should count in the books as a turnover.
Technically, yes.
You're getting the ball back.
Why it's not. Yeah, I don't understand why
I
it's
don't
not.
either. I mean, you get a safety, they get to kick off to you. So it's a turnover, in my opinion, too.
I mean, his argument is valid. I always thought it was a turnover to let you know what I know.
I thought so,
I considered it as a turnover. They just turned over the ball.
Yeah, but how fast Ty Robinson blew up that play. Oh, man.
Like this one, too?
Oh, yeah.
No.
And then throw up the bone. Oh, yeah.
Loved it. I mean, untouched. Yeah. Even Brock Heward said during the call on that play, he's like, a guy that big should not be in the backfield that fast.
No.
And that's Ty Robinson.
Maverick Noonan's in the backfield. I mean, he just breaks free. Straight through the middle, untouched. And, I mean, he could have tackled the running back and the quarterback.
Yeah.
Right? That's how fast he was back there. Ishmael Flores, true freshman.
You guys saw
the
this
backfield.
in person, Chris. You guys saw that defense make that exact play like they did on the safety and Ty Robinson at least another 3 or 4 more times.
Yeah, I sure did. It feels like I was jumping on my seat like, holy moly, that is pretty good. That is pretty good. Yeah. I have never seen the defense.
That's what we want to see, right?
Yeah, exactly. From our defense, to be like playing like that, we're going to have to bring that energy next week, you know?
Yes. Amen to that. Not just that energy, but even more so.
I don't even know if we'll get the chance. I mean, Colorado doesn't even run the ball.
I know.
No, they don't. And
even if they did, you think they're going to be able to run on us? No. Shador didn't even have time to throw against North Dakota State.
Oh, my God.
To Lincoln.
But that's where we got to be careful.
That's
he didn't have time.
Loaded.
He didn't have time to throw, but he still found a way to do it. So we got to be careful. We've got to keep him in check because I'm not going to give it.
They got receivers. They got
not
talent.
giving them credit. Not giving them credit. But Shador can play. He is an athlete.
Yeah, I'll give him that. And Travis Hunter is a weapon. Joe Horn's he's a weapon.
Travis
Jimmy Horn, whatever his name is, like I give a shit about the Buffaloes, but I mean they have wide receivers that are more than capable.
They do.
So
if Travis Hunter comes over that middle, he's going to get destroyed, though.
Yeah.
I hope so.
He's going to get destroyed
by Gifford.
Anybody. Gifford, Buford, take your pick,
elbow,
dude.
Right into him. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it? What movie am I trying to think of? Where a guy's running the ball through the middle and he takes an elbow right to the Necessary Roughness.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yep. He's running right through the middle with no pads because he's an Australian guy. He's thinking he's playing Aussie rules football. And he runs it up the middle and just takes a nice elbow right to the face, and down he goes. I mean, but he held on to the ball.
Took the people's elbow, huh?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
He goes, he didn't fumble the ball. Yeah, when he wakes up, get him some pads.
That was the best part. Look at that. He held on to the ball.
That's hilarious.
So, I mean, defense turned it on. They won the turnover battle. You had this one here by Hartzog, which I didn't even realize that was Hartzog. I saw number 7. I'm like, oh, he changed numbers. I was like, I was looking for 13. So it was a great job there. The pressure really caused that one, in my opinion, but great job by Hartzog keeping his eyes on the quarterback. If you really go and look at that play on its replay, Hartzog's never once looking at that receiver. His eyes are solely focused on that quarterback, and he just read it.
Yeah, but you can feel that wide receiver is trying to get over into the front of him.
Yes.
And Hartzog knows that.
He's got
enough experience. So he can feel the wide receiver right there, and that's why he just moved a little bit inside, and right there it was.
And this is why games like this are important, especially if you can put it out of reach early and get your backups in, get them that game time impression, get them in there for some experience. You get things like this that happen. Ramir Stewart gets an interception right here in the fourth quarter. I don't know. What is he listed at, Matt? Is he third, fourth string?
Oh, I think he's third, but that was a beautiful read and pick.
It was. And that's your third stringer. And Brock and the other announcer, they were talking about it the whole game. Chris, you'll enjoy this. It was the fact that these guys last year, you could see they were becoming men, and they're flat out saying these are full-grown men now. This is a team that is deep. This is a team that does not drop off from second to third to fourth string because everybody is coached the same way, and everybody knows their job.
Yeah, I agree with that because, I think we were kind of in a growing process last year, and I think these we're working hard to get to the standard that we want them to be at.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, yeah. We're trying. We're trying, folks.
Yeah. Yep.
It's culture too, man. This is the way things are going to be. It's going to be like this from now on under rule, and I love it. I love every second of it.
Yep.
All right. Real quick here. Let's see. Which clip do I want to run now? Let's go ahead and go with this one. You know what, Chris? This was pretty much for you. This is what Rule had to say about the fan support yesterday.
I think, first of all, I'll say this. There's not many places in the country where people stay for the whole game the way our stands do. I mean, it's unbelievable, right? Like, usually at the end of the game, you can kind of yell out, like, hey, run it, give it to so-and-so, run it. And we're still having to use the headset. I mean, if you notice in the game, I started off with a single. You probably didn't notice, but I started off with a single, and I had to go to a double earphone today. It was so loud on the field. I mean, it was so loud. It's loud on offense. Like we put Heinrich in, and everyone got real loud. And I'm kind of like, I'm doing the old, hey, be quiet. But but it was great. It was great to have that atmosphere, have that crowd. When you're at home, you have all those kids that can get in the game. Last year was really tough. I've talked a lot about that, but last year's now kind of over. So we got a chance to start at home. We got off to a good start. Coming in, some of the older guys were really happy. They were saying they had never really experienced that kind of a game where the game was over at halftime, really, and it was, they're watching all their young guys get in. They hadn't really, maybe they have, I don't know, but they said they hadn't had that. We certainly didn't have that last year. This game last year, Louisiana Tech was 28-14 or so. It was good to see them, put it away.
I agree, man. That was awesome. I stayed through the whole game. I stayed through most of the whole game, which I'm proud to say.
Good stuff.
Good. That's what being a fan means, Chris, and that's why I call you what I call you, like the living embodiment of Husker Nation fan base. You never falter, you never waver, you're always positive, you always back up everybody on the team as far as a player, coach. You even back up the fans. What you do is just amazing to me, and I should have had you on the show a hell of a lot longer ago, man, and I apologize.
Yeah, it's all right. I mean, I'm glad we got to know each other better this year because I think I probably would have had some trouble thinking about what I was going to think last year a little bit, but I'm glad about.
We struggled
Tough pill to
too.
swallow last year.
We struggled too, Chris. Don't worry.
Yeah, it's not just you, Chris. It's
No,
not
The
just you.
improvements alone were night and day different last year. I mean, you can see it. Offensively, yeah. I mean, it was hard to watch some games, but
Yeah, exactly.
this
And
year should be a lot of fun.
Speaking of the fans' experience, Chris, like I said, I pulled some of the photos you took at the game yesterday, man, and they're awesome photos. You got you and your mom there. I mean, here's another one of you and your mom. I believe that's toward the end of the game.
Yes, that's true.
And then you took a great one here of you.
Oh, yeah.
Great seats, man.
Yeah, they were best seats I've had at Memorial Stadium in my lifetime, I think.
Wow.
Right off the
I was
50-yard
blown away
line?
by that. Yeah, I was blown away by that picture.
I'm like
Yeah.
89 rows up for the UNI game.
Yeah. That's that. I mean, being high up seats are going to be hard a little bit, I would say, for you, Matt.
And then this last picture that you had there, Chris, this was awesome. You got to throw the bones with Adam Carricker, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What was it like? What was it like meeting Adam?
Oh, he was great, man. I enjoyed meeting him. He was like how Mark was some people was like, hey, that's Adam Carricker, Mom. I'm like, that's a guy I got to watch when I was younger. I'm like, okay, I want a picture with him. And then I was like, you must be Adam Carricker. I'm like, and then he said, I'm Adam. I'm like, I'm Chris. I'm nice to meet you. And I wanted to get a picture with him, and he was okay with, and he likes doing 2 pictures, one with just me, giving in the moment, and then throwing the bones,
Yes. Yeah. I like it.
Carricker's a class act too.
Yes,
he's always been a real good dude.
Yeah, I always
hoping to get him on here soon.
That'd be nice.
Contractually, though, can he?
Yeah,
We don't know
I
yet.
don't know.
Yeah,
we don't know yet.
I think you'll have a good time with him. He's I think you could tell him that you got to be one of me, so that'd be kind of nice.
Yeah.
All right.
What's my camera doing? Go ahead.
Well, that's what you get for buying a new one.
It has me frozen on you guys' side?
Oh, yeah.
But at least you're frozen in a good spot, You don't look,
all I see is mine is just totally white, and I see the Hurrdat Sports and at Husker. It's just
okay. Well, we got a picture. We have a picture.
Oh my God!
So there is a picture there. Now you don't. Now it's just the circle.
Let me start it back. Is it back looking frozen?
Yeah.
Let me turn that off. Silly camera.
Again, at least your mouth isn't open or anything like that.
Yeah. You're not wiping your eye or anything like that, and you're stuck like this.
So they can have that forever gift like Russell Wilson's ex-wife with her mouth open.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that look.
Oh. All right, guys. I was excited for this. Real quick, I wanted to finally get back into this segment, and of course, it is Husker Twitter. I go on after the game on Twitter. I pull 3 or 4 things from random folks, see what they say, see if everybody's agreeing, see where people are disagreeing. So we'll go ahead and start it off with that. Let's see, who'd I get first? This was just for Hail Varsity. Hell of a picture they got there.
Oh, yeah.
Ty Robinson taking down Locklear. I mean, yeah. That's if I could have found that picture before I put together the thumbnail for YouTube Tuesday, I would have tried to find a way to use that. But I just had to give Hail Varsity credit for that one. It was a great picture. So thank you, Hail Varsity. That was awesome picture. Great angle. Great capture of the moment. Really.
Yeah, perfect shot.
All right, who we got? Chancellor Brewington, and he's absolutely right. He tweeted, "This is what you want to see. Young guys getting meaningful reps in fourth quarter. That's how you build depth." Smiley face emoji. He's right. I mean, Matt, that's how you build a team. You get guys that get reps.
Yep. In-game practice. Just rep after rep after rep, and now meaningful reps. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't get me wrong, practice, that's where you develop, stuff like that, but every single snap is a learning, and that it's so valuable.
And Chris, you can attest to this, I'm sure. When you get guys that can actually get in-game experience that are third, fourth, fifth on the depth chart, by their junior, senior years, if they're young guys, that experience is going to really make a difference, I'm sure.
Yeah, especially in big games like we have come soon, pretty soon.
Ooh,
If we, yeah, they're gonna make some huge noise if we can have that happen a lot of times.
Yep.
absolutely. All right, who we got next here? Ah, Ravi. Matt, doesn't he do the show with Damon Benning?
He's the morning show with Benning
Yes.
for Hurrdat.
And he's right here. And Banks got a lot of love on Twitter, by the way. I can attest to that. He tweeted, grown ass man catch by Jamal Banks for the touchdown before halftime. And it was great ball placement by Raiola, yes. But what a hell of a job going up and getting that at the high point. Like I said, boxing out the defender, getting his body in front. That's what you're taught to do, and it's exactly what he did. Hey, Kenny, you got to see that highlight there of Jamal's catch at the end of the first half. Hey, it was Ravi, right? Grown-ass man catch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I totally agree. That's what you have to do. That's, like I said, guys, earlier, that's a training. That's what you practice that. First man in the air, get it, catch the ball at the highest point. Get it, snatch it down. You have the advantage. You can see where the ball is at. The defender can't. Go and attack it. So that was a great catch.
All right, we got one more from Husker Twitter. Like I said, I'll try and rush through this here. We're already just over the hour mark, so we're getting rolling. Last one's from Husker Hype. It's on Banks, but for a different reason. Banks sprinting out to make that block for true freshman Carter Nelson should tell you everything you need to know about the culture. Hey, I mean, Chris, that's got to be right. I mean, we've seen it since Rule was hired. He has preached culture, brotherhood, family. We're seeing the fruits we're getting the fruits of the labor now, aren't we?
I think we sure are, because that's been missing for quite some time. I really wanted to. I think that's what I always want to see. That's what I always like about football culture. You always build brotherhood, family, and trust with each other, and you always help each other out and do some good things for your teammates.
Amen to that. That's perfectly said. Perfectly
Exactly.
said. All right, guys, there's Husker Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. It's always going to be Twitter to me. I don't care. Elon can screw off. It's always Twitter, man. X, what are you talking? What? It's so dumb. I can't even think of anything to say about it. I like it. Chris is just like, nope. I'm not even going to bother. Nope. It's not worth the time.
I could care less what it's called.
It's a social media platform. Who cares? All right, one more thing as far as graphics go for the day, and man, it's been so long since I've been able to do this that it just felt good to do it again. And of course, we're going to have our field generals of the week, and I didn't put the names in on the scrolling there because I just forgot. So, the good thing is there's a graphic. I put a cop-out on both. I don't care. For offense, we're going Dylan Raiola. I mean, seriously.
Absolutely.
19 of 27, 238 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks. Yet you couldn't have really shown up any better and lived up to all the hype we've heard for almost a year. And then, of course, defensively, the entire black shirt squad. And I'm talking, I understand that it's only the first stringers, the starters, that are the black shirts. I get that. But that whole squad, from first string to fifth or sixth string, they all played like black shirts. I don't care. So in my opinion, that entire defense earned a black shirt for at least yesterday. That's all I'm going to say. So there's our field generals of the week. It's kind of a cop-out. I'm sorry. But yeah, Dylan deserved it.
I'm okay with it.
I think the whole defense deserved it. There was not one person stood out on the defense as just the shining spot, and I like that. That means we have them all over the place. We don't need just one. We don't need just
Agreed.
2. We have 11. Great. I love it. Chris is laughing. I'm laughing. Just all the excitement
It's
is
back, baby. That's all I can say. Finally,
Yeah.
it
Yes.
is
it's back,
palpable.
baby.
It is palpable in here. All right. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that was, for the most part, it. I'm going through my graphics at this point, just making sure I didn't miss anything. So far, it's looking okay. I think we might have made it. I'll give you one more thing before we go ahead and shut her down. One more clip from Rules Presser. And this is just how somebody had asked him, a small comparison, even though it's the first game, just a little bit of a comparison as to how they feel this year compared to last year's team. So here's what Rule had to say.
Yeah, we're a lot. I mean, we're better than we were, right? And so, even the crew that was here, they said, "Hey, what do you want to see on offense?" I said, "Well, last time you called one of our games, you called us a disgrace on offense." So, and they were kind of like, "Oh, we don't mean that." I said, "No, we were. Like, I don't take that offense. Like, that's where we were. The thing I didn't do was overreact. I didn't, fire Sat and fire everybody. I said, okay, we'll get a little bit better." And now you're out there. You see guys making plays. You see the O-line blocking, tight end. I mean, our tight end play today was excellent. They had some catches, but they had a lot of key blocks. So, our check game, the ability to, check runs was so much better. So yeah, I just think we're better than we were, and we're going to continue to get better. And the guys like Jacory add a dynamic element. Now one of those plays got called back, but that would have been a dynamic play. The big receivers made some plays, so we're just better. But we have to get a lot better moving forward.
There it is. He's right. They looked better. We all saw it, both sides of the ball, but we do know that there's still parts to improve on. There's still things that they can improve on. Perfection's the key, and this staff wants it. I'm ready.
Yes, they do. Yes, they are. They want improvement because, I went for. I was kind of Fredoni had more yards. I know he didn't have his best day, as his best day, but his best days are ahead of him. I think if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, he had a great game blocking.
Well said. Yes, he did. And he doesn't mind doing that.
Don't miss that. Yep. You're a tight end. It's part of your job. And he's a grown man that knows how to do his job.
Yes, he is. And Brock Hewart even said it was great to see him out there in warm-ups without any knee braces on.
Once the game started, though, he did have one on.
Yep. Hey, game gets going. Yes, throw one on, kid. It's a smart idea.
Yeah, better. I mean, I'm sure it sucks to play with that thing on, but so does an ACL injury. So
and he knows two.
Both. He knows all about ACL injuries.
Yeah, he's had two of them. I think he's done and over that, and he doesn't want to revisit that ever again. So, all right, guys, we have hit roughly about the 1 hour and 12 minute mark, something like that. So we'll go ahead and start shutting her down now. Chris, let everybody know where they can find you on social media, my friend.
All right, so you can find me on Facebook on Chris Pearson. You can find me on Twitter, Chris Pearson GI, and then you can find me on Instagram, Chris Pearson the Swimmer. I think it was my username is Chris Pearson the Swimmer. So you can find me on social media on those sites, and you can find me on Snapchat if you want to, but I'm not very active on Snapchat. You can find me on Snapchat, Pearson 0626. So you can find me on social media if you want to have a follow me with my Husker updates. I have probably a lot of Husker updates to get to for the next 7 days to go. So
that's why I love watching your account on Twitter as well. I mean, every time you tweet something, like I said, it's always positive. And a lot of it's very insightful. You've got great bullet points to make, and you give fans some stuff to think about too, and that's what I love, dude. You get it, Chris. You just flat out get it, man.
Yeah, that's what I was taught to be when I was growing up. I was like wanted to evaluate Husker football just every time. That's how I wanted to grow up. Just evaluate Husker football a lot. So.
That's perfect, man. Like I said, the living embodiment of Husker Nation fan base. He just is. Don't care what anyone says. That's just who Chris is. Y'all can get over it if you don't agree. And matter of fact, if you don't agree, don't be watching this show.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All right, guys. So you know where to find King Chris, aka Mr. Happy. I love that you call yourself that because you are Mr. Happy, dude.
Yeah.
So you know where to find Chris now. We've told you everything we could about the game. We've shown you some highlights. You've heard and watched some clips from Rules Presser afterward. You can find the show, the Husker Army Podcast, just by Googling it. Just Google Husker Army Podcast. You'll find us on YouTube. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, plenty more audio-only sources in order to get it if you only want to listen. But I strongly suggest you watch. It's great visuals. We put together the highlights, the clips, the graphics. I mean, it's visually stimulating for you, I suppose. And you get to see Kenny's handsome face. You get to see Matt. You get to see my ugly mug. I mean, it's a great time. You get to hang out with the great guests we end up getting, like Chris. Guys, we have so much fun doing this. And yeah, we'd still be talking this way had yesterday not turned out the way we wanted. As far as being upbeat, I mean, yeah, we probably would have cussed a little bit more in the beginning. That's for sure. That just always happens. So, you know where to find us. Right there, Twitter, Instagram, at Husker Army Pod. You can find Kenny Cheatham on Twitter at HuskerNoop1911, or you could just search his name over on Insta. An easy way to find him there. Same thing with Matt. Find him on Twitter as Herbie_Husker15, or you can find him on Instagram as well. Just search his name.
No, I'm not on Instagram.
You not Instagram?
No,
I could have swore you were.
No.
Oh, crap.
I stay away from that. I'm barely even on Facebook.
Oh, crap. I wonder if I've been tagging a random Matt Sass this whole time then.
Probably.
Oh,
because I'm not on Instagram.
Wondered why I never heard from you on there.
Yeah, I want nothing to do with Instagram. I really don't want anything to do with Facebook. Just I have family that lives out of state, and
yep,
they want to see my boys every once in a while, and so that's it.
I pretty much do Facebook only to help out the show. Really, that's all. Other than that, I don't really need Facebook. Most of the people I talk to that I consider friends in my life, I see on at least a weekly basis or so. So it's no big deal. I got a lot of friends on Facebook. It's just I'll say a lot of acquaintances. How about that?
Yeah, acquaintances.
Yes,
that's the way I feel about it. Too.
There's nothing wrong with
I see my friends on a daily basis. So.
All right, Kenny, you've been kind of quiet. We haven't seen you for a bit. Did everything go good for you today, bro?
Yeah, it went well, man. I was just extremely proud of the way they played. I was extremely proud of the way that the defense played, which I knew. And you guys know I always said the defense is going to be far more advanced than the offense going into the season, in camp, in spring football, because it's not to say I'm dumbing it down, but it's less things you have to master on that side of the ball as far as schemes, positions, things like that. I'm not dumbing it down, trust me.
And a lot of seniors.
It's more reactive, and we have a lot of guys that have come back. Our defense, we know, is going to be a strong point this year. They're building off of last year. Hopefully they can improve, which is not very much to improve, but you can always improve. And hopefully they're going to, because we're going to have some challenges this year, and hopefully they can help us with the young quarterback, but we have some additions. And it was just good to see, man, to finally watch a game for the first time in a long time. Let me stretch the O and the G and say, okay, even though the reserves were in, which is what you want to see, it was good to just watch a game and not worry about when it was going to happen. And to see the guys playing well, and you guys, and I've been saying this, and Bryan and Matt and Chris, this might be your first time here. For the last 4 or 5 years since we've been doing this, my biggest thing, one of my biggest things has been defensive line pressure on the quarterback.
Yep.
I've been repeating it, which frees up everyone else on your defense to do their job and make plays. And those two guys did a lot of pressure. Even the backups came in, and they did well with pressuring, clogging holes, filling gaps, knowing your assignment. Yeah. So to see that and watch it, was good, and I feel good about how they played yesterday. So next up, Colorado. We'll see what they can do. I'll be there, but they have. Trust me, there's a legit first round quarterback and legit first round wide receiver, and probably next year Horn, when he can get another legit first round receiver. They have skill players. We're going to have to wear them down and wear out that D line and get at them in the trenches and put the pressure on him to make him uncomfortable. Because if he sits in there, he's going to pick us apart, regardless of who we have on that defense. I knew about him in high school. When I saw his first couple games at Jackson State, I said, oh, okay. He's legit. You had heard about it, and then you think about all the schools he turned down to go play with his dad.
Yep.
You said, okay, maybe it's, and then you saw it, you said, oh, okay. It's not just he's Deion's son.
He's got talent.
He's got legit. Talent. I agree.
And you say he's legit. So if we can just build off this game, get the pressure, make him uncomfortable, shut that running game they don't have down even further, which we put more on his arm. That means we get more chances to hit him, put him on the ground, keep the ball out of their playmakers' hands. Hey, we got the game, man. It'd be easy.
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear, and that's why I let Kenny talk last. That's the type of shit I want to hear. I don't care. Yep. That's just, and he's 100% right.
Rush 3, drop the other 8.
Yeah.
And still get pressure.
So, yep, and we'll still get pressure with Ty and Nash.
and pick them apart offensively if we don't deep over the middle. You saw that. You saw that. I sat here and was like, oh, they're going to keep picking them apart underneath the middle with North Dakota State did. And it was, you remember they were dunking underneath.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. We gave you a ton. I can't give you any more. I mean, well, we could, but some of us got things to do on a Sunday. So, all right, at this point, you know where to find the show. You know where to find Chris. You know where to find Matt and Kenny. So, at this point, we've plugged the merch. We told you to like and subscribe at the beginning, which I'm going to start to remember doing at the beginning from now on.
Oh, yeah.
So,
like and subscribe.
Again, like and subscribe. So, and please check out our merch. Hurrdatsports.com. Check it out. Good stuff. So at this point, Husker Army, you know what to do. At ease, you are all dismissed.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.